Guys, Ryan Bidoff here, blogging from paradise. A beautiful Saturday morning here in New York City, Harlem, in Manhattan, in La Ciudad, or La Città, or something like that in Italian, Spanish. Guys, today I'm going to talk about one question to ask yourself. If you see little blog traffic or profits and the adjoining ebook of the day for you to buy, because it's really helpful, it will help you ferret out these lower energies so you could rock your blog and ask questions like this, and it's creating the mindset of a successful blogger. Now I was going to promote it on Facebook. Facebook's down, so I have to skip the live video today, or at least for a while. Probably be up later. But I did promote it on LinkedIn, G+, and on Twitter. So make sure you buy that on Amazon, Creating the Mindset of a Successful Blogger. It's an ebook I wrote to help you step by step work your way down the list. Oh man. Because really guys, success will find you when you're being, thinking, feeling, and acting like a successful blogger. And this often takes asking and answering uncomfortable questions like these. And here you go. Here's what it is. If you're seeing little blog traffic or profits, there's a question to ask yourself right now. Am I being a pro blogger? Good morning, Chris. So great to see you. And you want to ask yourself that question just in a really honest way. Am I being a pro blogger? Now, what does this mean? This means that independent of your results, like you're seeing little traffic and little profits. Okay, that's what you're seeing. What are you being? Because the two things are entirely different. Now, most folks, they make the mistake, it's really common, they look outside of themselves and they say, okay, I haven't made a dime through my blog, or I've made like $100 during my whole career. And I've been online for a couple of years, made like $100 or maybe $50. And they say, well, I'm not a pro blogger, I'm not being a pro blogger, I'm just an amateur, you know. I'm not even average, I'm a struggling blogger. So if they choose that image, then they are being a struggling blogger. And as you can imagine, that's not really gonna, and I've gone through this, guys. I went through this so long ago, and it was heartbreaking, because I'd look at my results and then I'd choose my being, meaning what I would be, think, feel, and act based on those results. So it was like the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. It was the same shit, different day, like you hear people say, because you keep being a failing or struggling blogger based on your results. So you see the little traffic, you see the little profits, or maybe non-existent, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna be a failure. And what do you think failures be? What do you think they do? Well, failing stuff. They take blogging not seriously at all. They look at it as an amateur venture. They say, maybe I'm working my way up, I'm being patient. You know, I spend a few hours here or there doing a little bit of blogging. The energy behind it is terrible, usually. Of course, how's it going to be? If you're not being a pro blogger, your energy is going to be poo-poo. It's going to be based in fear, not fun and love. So after you ask yourself that question, am I being a pro blogger? If you see little traffic or profits, of course, 99% of the time, even 100 really, the answer is going to be no. No, I'm not. I'm not putting in the time. I'm not putting in the energy. I don't have my energy right. I'm not doing those fundamental things that build a successful blog. Now, the ultimate challenge, which does get easier when you're just present with it, is to clear out the fear. Because once you clear out the fear of loss, and that's why you see little traffic or profits, when you feel the fear of loss, losing money, losing traffic, losing whatever, it could be stuff offline, and you have to feel it, and this is unpleasant, it could be really, really deep feelings there. When you clear that stuff out, you cry it out, you get a little angry, you don't project at anybody, you go in a room, punch in a pillow, whatever. Then when you leave the room and you're looking at your blog, if you note, okay, I got 10 visitors today, or 15, or I have 3 people on my list, or 12, or maybe 20 people, you're not going to feel that it's little. You're not going to feel that it's nothing. Like the feeling won't be there any longer. And you're like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. I'm just having fun creating and connecting, because that's what pro bloggers do. That's being a pro blogger, independent of appearances outside of me. The only reason why it feels like shitty when you see like no traffic, I'm so frustrated, I'm not seeing any traffic, I'm so stuck, is because there's fear in there that you have to clear out, but it happens after you ask the question. Because most people horseshit themselves. I bullshitted myself for many years. I wasn't being a pro blogger. Even when I saw results that were pro blogging style many years ago, they were, I was making some decent coin. I still wasn't being a pro blogger because I still had that fear and terror there of loss. And that's something you just have to clear, but it all starts with the question. When you ask yourself the question, you could say, okay, maybe I work a full-time job, I'm really busy, so am I being a pro blogger? No, I'm being an entrepreneur. I'm being an employee. Hey, thanks so much for the like. I really appreciate it, bro. I'm being an employee. I work 8 hours a day. No, you don't have to be an employee. That's not who you're being. It's something you're doing. You're working 8 hours a day, paying the bills, putting a roof over your head, food on the table. That's cool. Then when you come home, as soon as you come home at night, you better get your ass to being a pro blogger. And that means 2-3 hours. You have a family, busy with family. Okay, be the pro blogger. Stay up an extra hour. 2 to 3 hours doing business building stuff, owning your skills, honing them, practicing, helping folks, assisting folks, promoting other pro bloggers, learning from pro bloggers, buying courses. If you're working a job and you're making money, even if you're not making money, buy the courses, buy the ebooks. You have to do it. You gotta do it because these things cut your learning curve. That's what pro bloggers do. Don't pay $3 for a domain and hosting or $2 because you will pay the goddamn piper eventually. Your blog will be down, it'll be really slow, and you won't be being a pro blogger. Pro bloggers, I look at and it fluctuates because I use a UK hosting company, but I look at how many pounds, 11 pounds, 12, 15, okay, 15, between like 13, 14, 15, and $20 a month hosting. Most people are like, oh, that's great, I could do that in 7 months. $3 a month, 21. No. At the end of the year, 20 times 12, $240. It's not that it's worth it. It's what you have to do. Am I being a pro blogger? What do pro bloggers do? What does Zach Johnson do? What does Ryan Bidoff do? He makes t-shirts with his domain name on them, right, Gambit? Right, baby Gambino? This might be a little longer today, guys, because Facebook's down. I'll go up on there later. He may attack me at any time. He just gets it in these moods. You don't have to deal with it because Kelly's doing a house sit on the Upper West Side of Manhattan right now for a few days, watching little Cooper Pinkerton as I'm here on the Upper East Side in Harlem watching Gambino. And then I'll pop over and see her a little bit later. Here he comes again. Guys, you got to ask the question. You got to ask, and you have to wait for an honest answer, and then you will see the root of your traffic issues. You will see the root of your profits issues. You will see the root of all of your issues, all of your struggles, all of your failures. Then at that point, you have to really clear out the fear. That's the only thing that's stopping you from being a pro blogger. Then from there, you know what being a pro blogger means by now. Owning your skills every day. You're going to practice writing. You're going to practice writing 500, 1,000 words in a Word doc. Set aside 30 minutes, 45 minutes. You're also going to promote other successful bloggers in your niche. Or if you're saying, okay, I'm not a successful blogger, but I'm working my way there and I have my energy there, I'm doing what's fun to me, then you're going to leave a real long comment on 3 or 4 blogs that are really well read. Maybe you'll stop by bloggingfromparadise.com. It won't hurt you. It's a fun place, I promise. We don't bite, unless we're hungry. And you'll stop by problogger.net, and you'll leave a comment over there, and you'll tweet the post, and it'll be a really in-depth comment. You maybe stop by Jeff Goins' blog. You'll stop by bloggingtips.com. You'll do all these things. I don't think he likes me giving you guys attention. He's kind of like Molly back home and Delilah, but just a lot bigger and stronger. And you'll do these things, and then you'll promote these other bloggers, and you'll publish maybe a post a week, and it'll be helpful, and it'll be in depth, and you'll link into other bloggers, and you'll start creating your products and services, and you'll be growing your list. Oh, you'll be guest posting too, and you'll think, where do I find this time? You make it, because that's what a pro blogger does. To be a pro blogger, you figure out where your attention and energy grows. So before you see results, you're not going to be caught up in because you're clearing the fear. You're going to have to dive into being the person who does these things and who spends hours. Because if you don't devote your attention and energy to being a pro blogger, even before you see the results, you can't become a pro blogger. And it takes uncomfortable decisions to do this. You think it's easy for me to do this video and to be as in the moment and present when I know I could be fucking mauled at any time? This guy's a hard ass, man. Pro bloggers do this. They write ebooks. They create courses. They deal with the fear. You know how many fears I dealt with when I created these? Nobody's going to buy them. And it was like a horrible feeling. Nobody's going to buy these ebooks, Ryan. Why would you even bother? Who cares? Who are you? Nobody's going to buy your course, Ryan. Who cares? You're wasting your time. Just rush it. Get it out there as quick as possible. You got to sit with those feelings. Some bloggers it doesn't come up with. Most bloggers it does, because we're human. And it's unpleasant, but welcome to the journey. Now you understand why so many bloggers struggle and fail, and why so few become professional, full-time bloggers, not being focused enough. Well, you know what, Chris? I think it's your problem not being focused enough. I would say more than that, if you feel like it's a focus issue, there's a fear issue. And you kind of want to think through, what am I afraid of that's energetically? This is what happens. Trying to hold him down. This is what happens during live videos. He's a cheap shot artist. Come on. Hold on a sec, guys. Come on. Come on, Gambit. Stop. Here, I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Oh yeah, then we love. Then we're full of love. Here, buddy. Really say to yourself, what am I doing blogging-wise, Chris, or what am I avoiding that I fear? I really think that's one of the best questions that really freed me, and it helped me to be more of a pro blogger. Doing a video with a very aggressive cat that wants to bite the shit out of you. I still have these scratches from me. This is from last week, and that's why I had to get him down and like pin him real quickly. That's all he responds to. He's a brute, and he's loving, and he's, you know. So basically, I would ask myself that, Chris, and think, what am I afraid of? What am I afraid of if I haven't started like creating? I know you mentioned I got to get around to creating I want to start creating the book. I want to create a course. Ask yourself, why am I doing it now? What am I afraid of? And then when you sit with that feeling of fear, and you identify it, you don't have to identify it, but you sit with the feeling, oh my God, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that. When you clear that out, and obviously that's something you do today, then when you clear it out, you start writing the book, and you publish it. I'm trying to remember to get the book out yet. Let me know if you did or not. Or the course, or whatever it is, you know? Think about whatever it is. There's a few different things you're thinking idea-wise. They're awesome, and they'd really rock. You'd rock it out, and it'd be fun. So that's really an idea that you could sit with for a while to help clear out this energy of maybe not being a professional, you know, I clear out the energy of the stuff of thinking, you know, okay, this will help me be a pro blogger by clearing out the stuff the fears that are basically feel like they're holding you back. So thanks for asking that question, Chris. Yeah, you got me off my game, man. But really, the linchpin is asking it. It's asking it again and again and again, and it's being honest, because it's so easy to ask yourself the question and to say, I'm working really hard. Somebody's cooking out. There's a cookout here. It's so early. It's like 10:30, and they're cooking out meat already. It smells like hamburgers. I'm pretty hungry. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap the video. No, we'll wrap it up in a minute or two. I think the biggest thing though is, Chris and just everybody out there, as you're watching the video, when you ask, be honest. Be really honest, because it's so easy to bullshit yourself. It's so easy to say, am I being a pro blogger? And like, I'm working hard, I'm putting in the time, I'm creating and connecting, but you have to see the energy behind it, and that's where I screwed up for a while. I would be in a mad rush. I said I'm working hard, but I'd publish 30 posts on 2 different blogs every day, and some folks would say, wow, he's working so hard. He's so dedicated, he's so intense, and he's so focused, but that was terror. That was terror manifest as blogging. I wasn't being a pro blogger. I was being a really scared blogger. It is a mindset thing, Chris. 50 years of laziness is a tough habit to break. Chris, you're not lazy. You watch every one of my videos. I guess, no, I promise you're not lazy. I promise you're not lazy. You watch every one of my videos. You are so serious and so committed. So that's something I would say, that's a story. That's what we in the business call stories. We all have stories. I was, quote unquote, a lazy guy for so long. I was myself. I called myself a loser. Who was I? Who was I? I was just a security guard. I was, really a nobody. And these are what we refer to as stories. And these are things you have to feel and feel the energy behind them, however unpleasant, and let them go. Because it's a story. It's something your mind has made up. Like my mind made up. I was just a broke, unemployed security guard. And I just, drifted around. I remember my mom saying to me one time, "Hey, Ryan, let's face it." I didn't have that terrible look on my face, that terrified look. It was Gambit. Let's face it, Ryan. I remember my mom saying, "You'll always be an office worker." I remember that, like a couple months when I was into blogging, and I sat there and it stung and it burned, and I thought, oh my God, am I always going to be an office worker? I want to shoot myself. It was like really depressing, and I had to sit with it, and then I'm like, well, I am only a security guard. But that's a story. It's something that the monkey mind, and I say monkey mind from the jumping all over the place, it's so wild. It's what the mind makes up, and then it clings to, but just like a story, just like any of, some of the stories you read in here, or Game of Thrones is coming out tomorrow, I'm so excited. The finale, the season finale, but that's a story too. And it's all fiction. Like you thinking, I've been lazy for 50 years, it's fiction. It's not true. And you say, well, in the past I've always been that way, but it's a story you've told yourself. So you could release that story, Chris, and say, oh, it doesn't really fit me any longer. Look at the story Ryan's changed, his life story. He went from being a broke, unemployed security guard to a guy that travels all over the world and does videos talking about blogging while he's evading a cat that's really more aggressive than the tigers we sat with in Thailand. I was more nervous walking in here the first few times with baby Gambino, baby Gambit, the real aggressive ballsy time, than I was sitting with 300-400-pound tigers in their cages. But my story, Chris, for so long, and everybody out there, was broke, unemployed security guard, pretty lazy, had some talent, but my self-worth was in the toilet. It was in the shitter, and I had to embrace that story and say, wait a second, it's fiction. It's just something I'm telling myself in my mind. Well, it's happened in front of me, and that was my history, but I'm also clinging to the past. How about I let go of that story? How about a new story? How about a story of like being free and following my fun and surrounding myself with these awesome people? So I promise you, Chris, it's a story. You're letting it go, and you're the least lazy guy I know. You watch every one of these videos live. I mean, that's the precedence. That precedes greatness, and it's what I did to be who I am today. Just soaking up insight from folks who are fucking killing it. And that's what you're doing. So you're definitely not. And it feels like it's really tough to overcome. I know that. But really, you could accelerate it by going into quiet, finding a quiet spot, and just start analyzing this stuff. Not from an aspect of like an analysis of like a, why am I this way? Or why do I think I'm this way is the better question. But an energetic analysis, just be like, hey, I feel like I'm super lazy. I've been lazy my entire life. And how does that feel? And then let it go. Let the floodgates go, bro. Because they'll go. They always do. We think they won't. Like, I was such a stoic. Everybody said I'm so stoic. And it doesn't mean it's going to be cry, but there's going to be stuff there. It's going to feel unpleasant. But then when you clear out that story, and it can happen really quickly when you're just being with it, and that's why I love meditation, because it gets you present with what's really there, then this comes out. Like 9 years ago, you look at my videos, and they're gone. They're long gone. I mean, some yo-yo deleted them, or they were whatever it was. They're long gone. But if you would have seen me 9 years ago, you'd be like, oh my God, who is this guy today? He got rid of his stories. So guys, I am gonna roll now. I went a little longer because I don't know. Maybe I'll skip Facebook today. It's really it's down. I don't know what's going on. I want a coffee. I really want to have coffee. I don't know. I just feel like an addict. I'm such a good boy. Am I jonesing? But gotta ask yourself, am I being a pro blogger? When you have those fears there, those energies, and Chris, thanks so much for sharing. And I know, I've been through, you could imagine, I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to end my life. It doesn't get any more dramatic than that. And just depression and darkness and anger and rage, and I mean childhood issues with some stuff that was very unpleasant. You can kind of run with that, where it was very unpleasant stuff, and maybe the tell-all one day. But just really unpleasant stuff that happened in my life. Feelings, stuff that I had. So I had to be with that stuff to clear it out. And you see how the pro blogging bit, like anything, everything is connected. You don't think family stuff or stuff at school or whatever in life has to do with your pro blogging. Oh, no. It has everything to do with your pro blogging career. Thank you, Gambit. I'm so glad you got to see me wrangle Gambit. And oh, hey. You're going to knock over. Oh, hey. Chris, thanks so much for joining. I got to get out of here. It's over 20 minutes. Thank you so much as always, bro. You're killing it, man. You are. Just keep delving into those feelings. It's not fun, but the more you clear them out, the story's going to keep changing. And you're going to realize, please move your rump. No, you can't have more. You can't have more. But thanks so much for joining. Really, the call to action, ask yourself the question, maybe even struggling in a few different areas with your blog, no traffic, no profits. Am I being a pro blogger? And that means devoting a lot more of your attention and energy to higher energy things, higher energy, attention, energy, creating, connecting, honing your skills through persistent practice. And like you mentioned, Chris, just sitting with the stuff, laziness. Think I need to get a job. Oh, yeah. I've been there, Chris. Well, the thing is, when you're surrounded by those folks, I'm going to delve a little into it because I love the Q&A, and I actually got that. My dad would say, you get a job, make sure you pay the bills, make sure you cover expenses, got to pay the bills, right? That's their stuff. That's their story. And it could be really uncomfortable when it's someone like your mom, your dad, brothers, sisters, friends. It's really uncomfortable. But you have to remember that it's not just your life and your career, but it's their stuff. It's their projections. So people around who are saying that, their existence is more based on fear. Get a job, make some money at least, and from there, everything was to be okay, but at least you'll have some money. You gotta have some money. Now, there are two ways to approach this. I am the guy you see today because I devoted my attention, energy, and I had to be with my fear towards my craft. Other folks will say, get a job temporarily, cover things, maybe you'll feel a little better about your business, you'll be able to invest a little bit more. Those are two schools of thought. I could only be authentic. And me diving into that feeling of dealing with the energy and stuff of folks around me who are doing things more from a place of fear. And when I say fear, it's not terror, it's just fear-based. Get a job, cover the bills. The only reason you get a job is because you're afraid. Unless you're so passionate about it and you love it. And most people, no way. They just get a job so you can get something called money so you can be safe. Quote unquote. But if you realize that it's their stuff, it's their fear, and you're separate from that, and that's where the meditation, this mindset work is so big, Chris, then you can come from the space of being a pro blogger who says, you know what, I'm going to devote all my attention and energy to this craft. I'm really going to get in depth with that mindset stuff that Ryan talks about in the morning. And, well, yeah, that's the thing. It's one of those deals, Chris, and I know because I've gone through similar stuff. You have to just say, whether it's your mom or whether it's your friends or anybody else, you could say more than anything, it's their stuff. It's their story. And it's unpleasant. It's unpleasant. But when you're saying to yourself, it's their stuff, and they could say, okay, paying bills or whatever, but it's ultimately up to you to say, what am I going to do with my life? And how am I going to be this person? And how am I going to not step it up from working harder, but step it up from an energetic space and say, okay, either I will go get a job and I'll pick up some bills, or I'll do whatever I'm going to do offline, or I'm going to say right now, today going forward, I'm going to devote most of my attention and energy during the day to be a pro blogger and to do the uncomfortable but freeing things to help the income come in. And I chose the second, and it was tough because I went through a similar scenario where, you know, folks were taking care of me, quote unquote, but then I had to see that they really weren't. And that was not from an arrogant space, but it was from a space of the universe. And I know this is gonna, you know, kind of drive people crazy. Thank you so much, Chris. I've been in a very similar spot. My dad, with Kelly for a while, with my dad. But in the same regards, I had to see it as being the universe and as them helping me out. And then when I got clearer and clearer on my direction, and I was being the pro blogger, and I dealt with the fear there, because then even for a while, I realized there was no fear of like, okay, they're taking care of me, there's no guilt. I had to really delve into my feelings until I saw there was no guilt. I felt that out, I felt out the fear, I felt out the shame, and when I felt out all these energies, something miraculous happened. If they maybe said, hey, I'm taking care of you here, I'm pulling the weight, there was no charge there, and when there was no charge there, more money flowed to me through more channels. And that's why this course, meditation and A Course in Miracles, Chris, acim.org. I resisted it for a while, but when you get down to it and you really get into the nitty gritty of that stuff as far as being a pro blogger, the charge will go away from the folks saying stuff around you that are annoying you, or that maybe you feel shame or guilt, or you feel less than. I know all these feelings. So whether it's your mom, you know, again, Kelly and my dad and different things, if there was stuff that went on there, the charge went away from them doing what they're doing, and then I started making more money through my blog. So I would start paying for stuff and picking more stuff up. But you gotta really sit with the energies that are there when your friends, when the annoyance is there with your friends, or whatever it is with your mom. And I think this is a good Q&A, and that's why I'm going a little longer form, guys, because this is really key, man. I've experienced this, man. I've come through it, everybody. Don't think it was comfortable, it was easy. It was uncomfortable at times. But the fun happened when I cleared the fear. So I would say, Chris, your friends say that and it annoys you, you should get what's there, because they're triggering something in you. And with your mom, whatever's there, with him, like her covering stuff, you know, bill-wise or whatever, what feeling's there? And go into a silent space, find your spot, however you can, just do it, go to a park, go wherever, and be with the feelings that are there. And then guess what? When you clear them out, however unpleasant, there's going to be unpleasantness, then there's no charge around it. So whatever your mom's choosing to do, whatever your friends are choosing to say, you're just going to be a pro blogger. And they say it, and it's almost like when you're flying by, and in the past where it's this massive big story, and where it's like things would blow up and you'd be angry, or there'd be feelings you'd just be boiling over, but you want to press them down. It becomes more like when you're flying by, so you're going 85 down, I'm trying to get on the highways in North Carolina. Say you're going down 95. At 95, or say 85 down in North Carolina, or anywhere, but I'm saying that because you're in North Carolina now, and I know you can really zoom down 95 down there. Actually, no, we're off 95. We were visiting our relatives in Fuquay Arena by Raleigh. Woohoo! So think of like when you're seeing a sign, like a mile marker, and you fly by it doing 90. I'm not advocating you break the speed limit. 85. 80 seems reasonable. But you fly by and you see the mile marker, and it's like, whoo, and it's like 1 second. Maybe a second, maybe 2 seconds. That's what the feelings will be like around friends and family saying you should get a job, where if there's that feeling in there, you try to push it away, it's a note, and you'll be like, okay, a little annoying or whatever, fine, and then you move on to being a pro blogger. And that's where the meditation and the, like I say, acim.org, or Course in Miracles, acim.org, phenomenal book. Line by line you read it and you be with it. When you clear that stuff out, you can be the pro blogger. You ask the question, yeah, I'm being a pro blogger. That doesn't bother you. You'll start doing the things and being the person and getting the ideas, and money will come to you through different ways and means. And then who knows, you might even find a job offline or online somehow, but whatever, don't attach to it. That seems cool to work and allows some money in. Thank you so much, Chris. Guys, I have to roll. It's a half hour now. Maybe I will skip Facebook. Who am I bullshitting? I'll be on there later. We'll see. But thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much for the question. I went a little more in depth, guys, because I know this applies to like millions of people out there because we've been there. I went through it. Thank you so much for me, Chris. It's cathartic for me because, you know, I've cleared this stuff. It still feels good to know that, hey, I could go a little deeper in those experiences and be transparent and help folks know the guy doing this today, it's another thing. It's another block sometimes being a pro blogger. You start to realize so many folks went through things like you, or even crazier or more intense stuff. And I think one of the blessings too with what's going on now with my mom, and you know, most folks probably know that she's been in a holding pattern with Alzheimer's, is that it's helped me realize, and after having her for 5 years and she's in hospice, it's helped me realize what I saw in her for the longest time, that struggling and that suffering, it was just what I saw in me. So when I cleared that out through grieving and through some uncomfortable things, now I could see her and be like, it is what it is. And I could see myself. And it's why you've seen so much tremendous growth in me over the past year, really. You know, I've had to deal with some deep stuff. So thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Mom. And that's the blessing of it. And when you really do the energy work, you put on a set of glasses that most people are like, what the hell? What type of life is he living? Energetically. But you cleared out this stuff that most people don't do. You ate the shit sandwich. Thank you so much, guys. Got to roll. Until next time. Oh, call to action. Duh. Visit bloggingfromparadise.com. We have lovely ebooks. We have courses. We have so much fun stuff. If you want to learn blogging, build a successful blog from an energetic, just fun, entertaining space, stop by bloggingfromparadise.com. Sign up. Take a look around. Do some shopping. Check out my latest posts. And enjoy paradise.